Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So, welcome. Aquarius, we begin with the most wonderfulest, my basically favorite, although, okay, I'll be honest, the Four of Discs is my most favorite right now. Ever card. Probably it will always be my favorite, but sometimes that Knight of Cups, that King of Cups, the Grail holder, right? The beloved. Sometimes this one gets very close to my favorite. Some days I would say yes, it is. When I see this card, I know that there is a belovedness in your life. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic. Let me just say straight up, it does not have to be a romantic thing. Now, I know maybe that's what you're looking for. Maybe you don't want to hear anything about that at all. We'll see where it takes us. But most often, this energy, it's about being in alignment with yourself being in alignment with that higher self, that daemon, that guardian angel, that thing that guides us, right? That is kind of the conduit between us and, the celestial, the divine, the cosmos, the, whatever it is, whatever that, many infinite intelligences, or maybe it's just one big one. I don't know. Don't get me down that rabbit hole. I'm not sure. But this is a time where you feel very plugged in. Or maybe unplugged. Maybe it's unplugged. Maybe it's both at the same time. Maybe we're like really getting into that quantum place, right? Where things seem very, I don't even know what they seem like. I can't even begin to imagine, right? Great, excellent feeling. Now let's get towards these tea leaves. Don't let me ramble too long. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that we're sharing our energies. And if you want to, I have to do this spiel. Every time I say, I don't like to do this, but I have to. And so thank you for putting up with it. If you want to it helps the channel a lot, like the video. If you have not subscribed yet, think about doing that. It will, if you hit the little bell, I guess, the notifications things, it tells you when readings come out. You get like a little notification or whatever. Or whatever. If you want to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. I read them all. I'm not always the best at getting back to them very quickly. It's not because I don't care. It's just, man, life is busy, right? But I do read them all. I do. So be nice, please. Or at least kind. You don't have to be nice. I always tell my daughter that. You don't have to be nice. Listen, I'm not trying to raise somebody who is worried about being nice all the time, but you know what? You know what, Mama? That's what I say to her. You know what, Mama? You have to be kind. We have to be kind. We have to strive every day. Like it's brushing your teeth, like it's, drinking enough water, like it's whatever thing you have to do every day, whatever responsibilities you hold yourself to. Striving to be a little more kind. Yeah, that's an important one. So let's be kind to each other. I can't take any more meanness. Okay, so immediately I am drawn into a landscape. It looks like a map almost, kind of. And now it's abstract, of course. These are tea leaves that find themselves in whatever position they want to be in, right? I have no pull over how these land. So, sometimes it's a little abstract, and sometimes you might not see what I'm seeing. And you know what? I love getting the comments where you tell me what you're seeing in the cup, because sometimes I don't see that at all. And that doesn't make it wrong. It just means that we have different perceptions. Our minds go to different places. That's what divination is all about. No two people will do the same reading, right? And that's the beauty of variety. That is the beauty of this, well, what should we call it? Reality, I guess, that we are in, that we are sharing here. So anyways, we have the little house here. I am immediately getting, in my head, I just feel this very green landscape, against kind of like a darker tone. I imagine somewhere almost like Ireland or the Pacific Northwest, or even, like Maine, coastal Maine. It could be all over Canada, right? I mean, just somewhere that it feels lush. It doesn't necessarily have a lot of trees, but maybe it's just the area with it where there's this town or a house, or I don't know. A dream maybe that you have had recently. I keep getting this feeling. It's like I'm sorry, I have to get my water. You guys, I've become a water jug person, finally. I have been trying my best to not be that person. And I'm not, listen, there's nothing wrong with being the person with the, gallon of water you're walking around with all day long. Not at all. It's actually pretty convenient. But I don't know. I just didn't want to be that person for some reason. I didn't want to carry another thing. Let me just be real. That's what it is. And I have had to become that person. It's so humid every day. And I'm working out a lot. So I'm sorry if you can hear it. Oh, and here I go, chewing ice. I'm so sorry, you guys. We're just freestyling it today. Okay. So, kind of vacillating between, is this a real place, or is this a place that is like a dreamscape, a place that you frequent throughout the years? It might be tied, anchored to a certain memory or work you were doing at some point, and there was, something that it's how when we hear a certain song and it takes us back to that moment, the last, time we tied it to a memory, or it really, it's you hear, for me, things like Crimson and Clover, what's his name? Tommy, whatever, in the Shondells, or I think is it the fourth? I don't know. It's gonna bother me. I listen to that song quite often, but anyways, it takes me back to a particular place. And it has a variety of meanings to me because it's one of my favorite songs all time favorite songs. If you want to know what my soul looks like, it's something like that. And that feeling, it just pulls you right back, right? It pulls you right back into that place. And I feel like this is a landscape, an imagery that is tied to some kind of important feeling. I mean, it was a shift, a paradigm shift in your life. And I don't know. I do feel that there is a wanting to be there. I feel like it's a place that it must be tied to something of ease or happiness to some degree. I don't mean, it doesn't feel like overwhelming joy. right? Like a feeling of like, you see your first grandbaby, or if you see your grandbaby for the first time, and it's maybe your first one, right? So it's like the first time you've ever had any kind of feeling like this, right? And the happiness, the joy. Now, I don't think that it's to that level. I'm just going to be real. I'm not saying you're going to your like paradise. But it's a place that feels safe and ease, and you can breathe. This is where you can breathe. And there's the green, it just keeps standing out to me. An intense green, like a forest green, but a little brighter. I mean, just life. It feels like life is flourishing here, And when you are aligned in this place, in this feeling, so are you. You are flourishing. And I feel like in this time there's such a belovedness. And we have, like we said, the Knight of Cups. And this is if you know anything about like medieval knights and the love stories and the troubadours and the these epic just wanting and courting and just the chivalry. That's what it comes down to. Chivalry as religion. And it really was. There was a thing called, or a movement, or a philosophy, or a religion, or a lifestyle, or whatever you want to call it, called courtly love. Okay, and this is the tradition. So oftentimes, right, people of any kind of importance or money or land ownership or whatever, they were often pulled into being part of the courts, right? And this is like the royal court, not like a legal system necessarily. And they would basically have like arranged marriages. Right? They would marry so that they could get more power, money, or, sustain their family or whatever. And so there was this known tradition. I mean, it was, something that everybody knew about it. It was called courtly love. And it was the practice of, having basically an emotional affair or a love story with somebody, usually never being together, never actually being alone together sometimes. Like, these are people that just, who knows, like, how they would find a way to be together alone, even long enough to have a kiss or something, right? So they would write letters, right? Pass notes to each other. And they would have these, kind of acts of love to prove, and this was usually the masculine, but also, on the feminine side as well. They would have these acts of love, like, courageous things, acts of chivalry, and it was an indicator. I am living my life in this, like, elevated way, performing these tasks, these heroic tasks, to honor the love I have with this person that I might not ever actually get to realize my love with, in a physical way, in a physical space. Wild, right? It's a moving, I don't know, to me, it is very akin to agape, right? It is the same kind of stories we see in, like, the saints, right? Having this kind of beloved love affair with the divine, with, the holy unseen. And I mean, I don't know. I find it quite moving. You know, I'm a romantic, by the way. Obviously, you can probably tell. But I feel you really coming into this space where love and devotion to your own work, the refinement, the where maybe at one point in your life you felt quite erratic about the way that you connected with other people. Maybe you had, styles of showing that or experiencing that often would, maybe disrupt your relationships. Maybe we're struggling to like have a long-term relationship, or maybe you were in long-term relationships but they always fell quite short. It was like you couldn't figure out like what is going on here, why does this keep happening? But as you start to do the self-work and we start to see the patterns, and we also give ourselves permission to actually see ourselves, to be honest with ourselves. Like, no, it's not just like a curse. I'm not just like, destined to like be with the same kind of person over and over and over again. No, there are things that are happening within me that I am either like subconsciously seeking these people out, or there's some kind of energy or something that is going on that I'm drawing these kinds of people in, right? And I'm not placing fault. It is not fault. There's no fault here, right? It is more about seeing, okay, these are patterns. There's something in there that I need to figure out. I need to find it, and I need to look at it. I need to process with it. I need to integrate this thing, because if not, you will never escape that loop. And I feel like for you, this is something that you had to come to this realization. You had to do the work, which you have, and I am freaking proud of you. Let me just say, I am proud of you, Aquarius. I am proud of you for even thinking about these things. I mean, so often we just don't even think about it, right? And so here you are, transmuting, alchemizing, evolving, growing, becoming and becoming and becoming. You are unfurling, my love. You are coming into that form that you have been wanting, that you have seen yourself in your mind's eye, that this is who I am. This is who I want to be. This is what I am going to be. This is what I am manifesting. And every day I feel like you have a bit more confidence. I also feel like you are going through that wonderful change in life where we begin to shed the responsibility of how other people feel about us. What does that mean, Lenor? Yeah, it means I don't care what you think about me, buddy. And I'm not going to carry your bad vibes, your bad energy, your bad opinion, which does not matter to me at all. And every day I feel like you could care less a little bit more and a little bit more. And it is freeing. Now, I'm not saying that this is turning you into some kind of antisocial person. No. But what I do see it as you are becoming this I mean, like ultimate form of yourself. And it might be, many things, right? Many different, you're trying this and that. You are, maybe changing the way that you dress, the color of your hair, where you live, who you spend your time with. What are your main priorities? And I'm taken back by like how hard you've been working. We have the chariot down here. Here is the horse and the chariot is here. We also have the bowl over here. And within the bowl there is a flower, kind of like floating at the top here. You can see it looks like a tulip or something. And it very much reminds me of an alchemical engraving. And it is very much the yoni. It is very much this symbol of, well, if you could imagine, like, right, the cup, and this would be the vessel. The water within is the waters, the holy waters. But it's also the reflection. It's where we see ourselves. It's where we experience reality filtered through emotion, right? It is where we divine. It's where our intuition dwells. It is a portal. It is a portal. And to have the flower in it in full bloom tells me that you are very accessed in kind of your, if you could think of like your imagination as a theater, go ahead and think of that. You're walking into a theater, right? And when you go into the theater and sit down, there are the allegories, the plays, the ordeals, and you are witnessing them. Sometimes you're on stage performing with them. Sometimes you're way in the back. You can barely see or hear. Sometimes you're up in the front row or in the, the box seats or whatever. But this is the place where the mysteries reveal themselves to you. This is the place where we reenact. This is the place where we work out. This is the place where we contemplate. And seeing the flower in the water like that, it tells me that you have been in your theater. You have been deeply looking into whatever mysteries of your life that have popped up. Right? And what does that mean? This is language that's like, okay, well, what the heck does that mean? A mystery in your life? Well, I mean, they're the big ones, right? Who am I? Why am I here? What does this all mean? Right? These are the big mysteries. But there are other mysteries as well. There are things that happen in our lives. What does it mean for me to be a mother? What does it mean for me to be a mother of somebody else's child, right? Like if you're a step-parent or, maybe you've adopted or you're a caretaker or, whatever it is. There are so many mysteries within our life, okay? And so you have had a few lately. And I think that is very much about that self-evolution, that looking into self, into really investigating, who you have been and who you are now and who you will be, right? And really, more intentionally than you have ever been. I feel like you are like you're like the person that is doing all the things, right? You're working on the health, you're working on, your wellness and spirit and your emotional sectors, in your psychic sectors, in your domestic. I feel like you are hitting all the places, all the marks, right? And it doesn't feel like too much. That's the thing, is that it's not like you're doing some kind of like fad diet or some kind of like, self-help modality of the week or whatever. No, you are changing the very way that you live. Your lifestyle has changed significantly in the last couple of years. And I feel you finally getting into that place where it is all starting to make sense. It is all starting to click. It is coming more easily, okay? And that feels beautiful. That feels divine, okay? And that's where I'm saying, I don't know if you are unplugged, like what did dude say? Tune in, turn out, what? I don't even know. Don't tune in, tune out. Something, I don't know, whatever. It was one of those, probably psyops propaganda slogans. Let's just be real. But also maybe just the slogan of the, the hippie movement. The exploration of the psychonauts, right? Our forefathers. Anyways, yes, where are we going now? I don't want to leave this reading, to be honest with you. It feels nice. I'm taking some of this energy with me because I need it sprinkled all over my Virgo life right now. This August humidity for us, like Virgo people, it activates that thing in us because it is almost Virgo season. And if you know any Virgos in your life that have a birthday coming up pretty soon, we also have the number 9 right there. You already know it's almost Virgo season because we will not forget to tell you at least once a day that it's almost our birthday and that it is our season. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but we're a proud bunch usually. Oh, look at this. It looks like such a regal dog. Like a hunting dog of some kind. Or maybe like a greyhound. We have a person casting right here. It looks like maybe sending a message of peace. Casting a spell, casting an intention, making an appeal. I feel like you are sending maybe some kind of declaration of love. Again, doesn't have to be romantic. It could be like a birthday card to one of your kids or whatever, and you're telling I love you more than anything in the universe, right? Some message of love. And I feel like it makes you feel good. We also have the sun right there. So it does. It feels like there's a sunshine on your face, right? Now, the dog, and we have that question mark. The dog is a friend. The dog almost always is either the protector or a best friend, a loyal family member. Okay, so I don't usually like to talk about pregnancy or any fertility or anything like that. But we have the stork and we have a person sitting. Now, I feel like there's going to be a surprise pregnancy. Okay, now, it feels, because the person is sitting in this posture, it feels like this is somebody who has been trying, and maybe they haven't even said anything. Maybe it's like they've been trying for the last couple of years, right? This is like a person, they've always wanted to be a parent and have tried different things, and they're working, diligently to try to get this thing, figured out, to find their way to where they know that they want to be, and that is in parenthood. And I feel like there is a sense of almost kind of giving up. And I do feel like this is a private person, a very humble person, somebody who never says their dreams out loud, not their real ones anyways. This is a person that maybe is kind of superstitious, or maybe they just, I don't know, they're private. They're a private person. And I feel like this is going to be like their miracle. This is their miracle. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be actually having a child. Maybe it is like the job that they have been working to get forever, and they finally, it's all coming together. It feels like it will turn into a joyous thing. A joyous thing. I have a circus tint up here, though. I do also feel like it's going to throw somebody within the family into turmoil. Maybe like a sibling or another family member that, I don't know, for whatever reason, very upsetting to them. Maybe they also are trying to, I don't know. There's a sense of it's not competitive. It is competitive. On the surface level, it's competitive. But deep, deep, deep below all of that, it is very much a fear that collectively maybe there is like an inability within the family to have children, or circumstantially these two siblings, whatever happened individually in their lives, or maybe it's just been different. There's so many factors. I mean, there's so many reasons, right? And most of them just are heartbreaking. They feel heartbreaking anyways. But I feel like because of this advancement, there seems to be some resentment. And that's the difficult place right there. But I feel like they will really try to temper themselves to not make it about them, even though it's obvious. Well, it's your family. You know how people are, right? You know how your family be. Okay, here we go. 60 is our first lucky number. 67. 50. Okay, and we'll finish with our wild offering oracle. I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right. Feelings. Emotions want to be felt. You really can't surrender something until you deeply feel it. Allow me, dear divine, to offer all emotions to you, feeling them fully, so they no longer hold me captive. What a perfect card to get, right? Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, Aquarius, I love you so much. You know this. And I just want to say thank you for spending this time with me. It is such an honor, such a pleasure. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Also, if you have any prayer requests or requests for energies, you can absolutely put that in the comments or email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. All right. Take care of yourself. Stay cool. Drink lots of water. I don't know what's going on in the southern hemisphere. I haven't been watching the news really, but hopefully it's not too hot or too cold or whatever's going on. I'm sure it's starting to heat up since we're getting towards the end of winter for y'all, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I'll have to check in with you guys. Let me know. Tell me, how are you doing down below the equator? Whatever is happening weather-wise, I hope that you all are safe and at ease, and I love you. I love you. I love you. We'll talk later.